Hello everyone, welcome back to Latina's channel. This is the channel where we learn about the laws of Ghana. We break it down so that everyone will understand. We have Twi versions and English versions. Today we are discussing about signing of documents or contracts. So there are days that people come to me with their documents and they have already signed them. Now, after looking through the documents as a lawyer, I just wonder how and why they thought they should sign a document like that or a contract like that. It takes a lawyer's lens to see some things are wrong with a document or a contract. Now, today I'm going to share with you 10 things that you're supposed to look at before you sign a document or a contract. 10 things. 10 things. Number one is that you should always remember that immediately you sign a document, the law presumes that you know all of the contents of the document, you understood all of the content of that document, and you agreed to it, or you agreed to the content. So take note, immediately you sign, everything in the document is binding on you. You are presumed that you knew it, you understood it, and you agreed to them. So if there's anything in the agreement that you do not agree to, please don't say, oh, I'm signing and that we are going to discuss this later. No, no. Everything in the document will be binding on you. That's the first thing. Take note. Number two is that if you are signing a contract or a document with someone and the person is an illiterate in the language within which that document is written, maybe say French or English, the person is illiterate, cannot read, cannot write, make sure there is someone there who understands the language, who can read and interpret to that other person in the language that they can actually understand. So let's say the contract is in English language and the person only understands Twi. Get someone who understands Twi and then understands English and can read the English and interpret to the illiterate or the person who doesn't understand the language in the language that she or he understands. Now, if you do this, let this person write his name. Let's say it's Enestina who interpreted. I'll write my name and say, I, Lawyer Tina, I interpreted to Stella and she understood the content before she signed. This is going to save you one day when the other person comes to say, oh, even me, I don't understand the content. I couldn't have read. But then you have a witness who will say, oh, I read through to me. But please, if it is possible, get someone who is related to that third person, someone who has no interest in the case or has no interest in the business to interpret to this third party or to this business partner or the person you are signing the contract with. It will save you. The third thing I would want you to look at is that who are you signing the contract with and what is the authority of the person? If it's a company, every company has who can sign and who cannot sign. We have directors, we have secretaries. Don't go and sign a contract with a driver which you think would bind the company. No. Now, if it's a family land you are going to buy, just don't go and sign a land document with a normal family member. You know that you need a family head himself or herself to sign that contract. So look out for whether the person who is signing the contract with you has authority or does not have authority. Now, the fourth thing that I want you to consider is that the law says that all the agreements, all the contents of the document you are signing comprises of the entire agreement between you two. So it means you will not go and bring another agreement, oral agreement from somewhere. So if you're agreeing with someone on maybe a buying of a car, everything you guys have written down, whether it is a hire purchase or it's a sale, everything you guys have written down is the entire agreement. If the seller promises you that, oh, if you come tomorrow, I will fix this for you, or if you come next week, we'll give you 4 tires, or if you come next week, we'll give you a discount. If that is not written in the agreement, don't rely on it because immediately you sign a document, the law will presume that that is the entire agreement between both of you. And any attempt to bring an oral agreement or agreement which had been made outside of the written document will not work. So please take note of that. Now, the fifth point that I want you to consider is that when you are signing a contract, make sure you negotiate the terms. Don't just say, oh, just because they brought it, I didn't have an option to negotiate. And the law says that an agreement is a negotiation between both of you. So immediately you agree and sign, it means you are done with all the negotiations. So if there's a payment plan and you are supposed to pay maybe within, you are supposed to pay one-time payment of maybe 100,000 Ghana cedis. Please, if you cannot pay that 100,000 Ghana cedis, negotiate to see if you can pay in installment. Immediately you say, I will pay in 1 month. That is it. And the law will take it as such. So negotiate. Don't leave everything to chance and say, oh, when he brought it, I thought I couldn't say anything about it. If you say that, the law will say, okay, oh, but then you have agreed and you will bind you to it. So take note of that. The third point that I want you to consider is that you should always know your exit plan or exit strategy. Now, every agreement, if there's a contract, there'll be a point that says if you want to get out of this contract, this is what you have to do, or this and this is what you have to do. What is the exit plan in that contract? Now, there are some contracts that, oh, it has good terms. Oh, they'll pay me this amount of money. Oh, they'll pay me 100,000 every month. But then there's a clause in that says, before you leave, we will take all the money we have given you or even ×2 of it. Immediately you see anything like that, that is binding you unreasonably, because everybody should be free to leave an agreement at any time without unnecessary restrictions. And so immediately you see huge restrictions or unreasonable restrictions, please negotiate it or advise yourself, because you may end up losing a lot when you think that the contract is no longer serving you and you have to leave. So please watch out for your exit strategy. The seventh thing is that in case you breach any part of the contract, in case you refuse to maybe adhere to one obligation in the contract, what do you stand to lose? So in case of a breach, what do you stand to lose? Now, if you look at this, it will help you to know your liabilities. It will help you to prepare before you even breach a contract, if you actually intend to breach, or you may breach it even mistakenly. So sometimes there will be a contract. The terms are so harsh that if you breach a very tiny part of the agreement, you lose almost everything. So sometimes somebody will go and sign to be a guarantor for someone, and the terms are so harsh that when there is a breach, the person was going to lose almost everything that they have. Please look out for the breach. If you are signing for someone as a guarantor for a loan, if the person refuses to pay the money, what do you as a guarantor stand to lose? If you don't check that one well, it will surprise you, because you will be liable to pay and they will come for you. So please check that. The next thing I want you to consider is that when you sign the contract, make sure you have a copy of that contract. Yes, I will not hammer on this much, but it is very important. Get a copy of what you have signed and keep it with you, so that one day if you are asked, okay, you signed a contract here, this is what it said, you can bring your copy to say, no, I didn't have that in, because people can do so many things behind the scenes. Get a copy of what you signed, even if it's a photocopy, whether it's an insurance, whether it's a bank loan. Get a photocopy of the agreement that you signed. It will save you. The ninth thing that I want you to consider is that immediately you sign the contract, make sure that there are no empty spaces before you sign. Sometimes you go and fill a contract somewhere, they say, oh, just sign here and go, we'll fill the rest for you. My dear, you may be putting yourself into trouble, because as they are going to fill the contract for you, what are they going to put in there? So please get the contracts, make sure you fill all the necessary parts, or make sure they fill all the necessary parts before you sign. Don't be in a hurry at all. Don't be in a hurry. If you are in a hurry, you may get yourself into trouble that will delay you for the rest of your life. So you are better off if you look at everything well and sign after every point has been filled before you leave. Now listen, the best thing you can do for yourself before you sign any document or any contract is to seek for lawyers' advice. Yes, lawyers are trained to review contracts, to review documents and see what is wrong and see what is beneficial to us. Now, if you are about to sign a contract, the best investment you can make is to go speak to a lawyer. Let a lawyer read your document and advise you. Because signing a document is signing for liabilities, signing for obligations, and signing your rights away. If you don't look at things carefully, one interpretation of a clause or a document can change your life, can change your earnings, can change the benefits that you can get from your own craft or something good that you have. So please invest in a lawyer. Even if you do not have money to go get a lawyer, please let someone who has knowledge of the law. It can be someone who is a law graduate, maybe he's not a lawyer yet, or someone who has some knowledge in law to guide you. That may be dangerous. The best option is to get a lawyer because that person is a professional trained to do what they have been asked to do, and that will save you a great deal of trouble. So please take that advice. Now, the last thing I will say is that make sure you understand every clause, every component of the agreement before you sign. Every, oh, not one, oh, every. Don't say, oh, I didn't understand this thing, so I said I'll go and come back. But you signed? No. Don't sign before you understand. Understand it before you sign. Ask for time. Go and seek help before you sign. It will save you a great deal. There are so many things I would want to discuss, but let's take this thing first for the meantime. If you're a lawyer, if you have signed a document before, let us know in the comment section the advice that you have for people who are yet to sign their contracts, whether it's an employment contract, whether it is a normal business contract. Let us learn together. Until we meet again, take very good care of yourself and share with your friends so that we all learn together. Have a very, very good time. Bye.